Hi guys, today we're going to react to Kafka by Jinjer. This is a Buy Me a Coffee request from Dan W60. Thank you, Dan, for this request and for the ongoing support. Much appreciated.
Thank you, Dan, for the ongoing support. Another awesome one from Jinjer. Interestingly, so far, and we're more than halfway through the song, no harsh vocals. I'm enjoying it. I feel like maybe this is something potentially closer to Tatiana's heart. I assume she's a fan of Kafka's, a very well-known author, writer. There's reference here to at least a couple of his novellas. One is The Metamorphosis, and the other one is The Trial. There was a line there that was an interesting one. A Gregor or a Joseph will it be? Gregor is the character from Metamorphosis and Joseph from The Trial, I believe, if I'm not mixing them up. It's been a while since I read The Trial. Metamorphosis is a little bit fresher in my mind, but yeah, I think Gregor is from that. Basically, the story of a man that turns into some sort of a creature that is usually depicted as a cockroach and ends up neglected and abused. And as it says here, neglected and abused or wrongfully accused. Wrongfully accused was Joseph in The Trial. Potentially wrongfully accused. I will not do too much spoiling here. It looks like she's describing Kafka as far as his life and also what it's like, I think, to be an artist, which is really interesting. Delicate and thin-skinned, one appeared in front of the jury, face uncovered against the wind. It's almost like she's saying we are potentially delicate and thin-skinned as people, as artists, and then we put ourselves out there or our work out there to be judged by the rest of the world, which is kind of really, really interesting and deep. Musically, I'm just really loving this. It's just sort of has this like dark feel to it and an intensity that I'm really enjoying.
The feeling I get from it is a sense of tragedy. Something tragic happened or is happening that radiates this energy of a burden. The narrator is burdened with something. And I think what you said about artists putting themselves out there, for an artist to walk their own path is almost an impossible mission, because that's what artists do. When they put themselves out there, they make themselves susceptible to judgment, and to be able to disregard all of that and to stay on one's own path, you have to be very resilient to be that kind of person, that kind of artist. It's not a trivial thing for an artist just to be. That's what I'm getting, at least from the feeling. It could be way off of what they initially meant. And also, yeah, I love the music. I love the overall vibe of the song. Visually, it reminds me somewhat of Merker by Helga, which we reacted to a long while back. It's not exactly the same style, but the depiction, it's like an explanatory music video. This is a lyrics video. They're telling a story in the visuals and clearly taking you from point A to B, but there's something maybe formalistic in this. I don't really remember Kafka. The visuals probably have to do something with Kafka's writings, but that's where it took me.
Strangely, I haven't been able to take in as much of the music video. I've been trying to concentrate on the words and the music, and I find that because it's a first-time reaction, I kind of miss out a little bit on the visuals. It is interesting that they chose this as their official video. I think they're making some kind of a point here, and I think this is what Tatiana is trying to convey with her lyrics.
Cupid pierce your chest with nails. The void will bleed within. The void will bleed within. Absurd of my existence. I'm aching through persistence. The pen will slit the heart. The pen will slit the heart. The void will rend us. Nicked. I saw my real face. It was ripped up like a mask. As they stabbed up on the blood of my own soul. Unmasking comes in price. All the purest compromise. In explosion, I cement myself alas. No, I am just a ghost in the attic. Life for me is doing time. The world has shut me down, but it's more than just fine. Not everything is perfect. Nothing happens for a reason. How absurd, what a treason for a man. We are only don't feel sorry, and at night when there's no glory, laugh without interruption to complain. Touch my existence. Oh, absurd.
That was intense. Coming from the arts ourselves, can definitely relate to this. I don't know if we're kind of twisting it sort of in our direction because of the way we can relate to it or not. I assume that's where Tatiana's coming from. Being creative, being an artist, and exposing yourself to the world, that can be a lonely, lonely place. And I think that's kind of what she's looking at here. There are sort of two sides to the coin as well. I think she points out the absurdity of it as well, because a lot of times people ask me about that as well, and they say, do you write for your audience? And I say, no, I write what comes out of me, but at the same time we do have some reliance on an audience even here. There is some sort of a strange dichotomy somewhere in there, and she kind of points out different ones. There are some really, really strong lines in this that I always love Tatiana for, because she's just fantastic. Some of those lines are just, to me, amazing. You came to the world unloved, but love has found you through a word. Cupid pierced your chest with nibs. The void will bleed with inks. She's looking at Kafka specifically, I think, or at least using Kafka as an example. He was a writer. There was a beautiful image there also of an ankle shackled to a feather. So it's saying it might just be a feather and it just might be art, but it weighs heavy and it chains us down in some way, even though it sets us free in another. It's just very, very interesting. I just love, love, love the lyrics to this, and I love this song. Just absolutely fantastic.
Yeah. I think there's a message here, sort of revelation, that the art form picks the artist. I'm paraphrasing, but she says there, taking the mask off comes with a price. It's letting what's inside of you as an artist come out as it is in raw form, and not trying to conform to what a certain audience will like. Will always be a hard path to take. I think I now understand, at least from my perspective, the intent of the way they show the music video. It's written in cursive in the first half of the song, like an artist would when they need to get something out. If you have have an idea and you want to just write it somewhere, you'll grab a piece of paper and you'll write it. I think that's what the music video shows. Scribbles and writings and something that you need to get out because there's something that's inside of you that is taking form and you just need to get it on paper so you won't forget it. And the second part, when she goes into the screaming voice, the writings turn all in caps. It's like expressing rage in those associative moments when you have a pen and a piece of paper and you don't really know what you're going to write. It's almost like it writes itself, and that's the rage and frustration and the realization that being on your true path comes at a price. At least that's what I'm getting from the music and the music video. What I actually love about all of that is that they even end the song. She says, absurd is my existence. There's no solution for that. It's just the way things are. I think above all that, the general idea is not to try to pander to an audience to love your art, is just to find those people who do understand it, who you can connect with because they do love your art, whether it's 11 people or 11 million people.
Yeah, as you were talking about that, it reminded me of that question I used to always get in those sort of indie interviews. And they used to ask, why filmmaking? Why art? Why do you write? And I used to say, because I have no choice. It really is that. You have these thoughts and ideas and they're all in your head. If you don't let them out, you'll probably just go crazy. So you kind of have to express them in some way, but that leaves you exposed. And artists who don't expose themselves also limit themselves, because the reason you want to get those voices out and because you want to connect, you want to express them, you want to see what people think about it. And that's really the absurdity of it all. Because to be an artist, I mean, most artists, probably not all, are more sensitive, more attuned than most people to spiritual matters, to feelings, to whatever, right? Otherwise, they wouldn't be able to do what they do and to express it the way they do. All that can be seen as a weakness as well as a strength. Hence the absurdity of it all. The line that you talked about before starts off saying, I showed my bare face. It was ripped off like a mask as they stepped upon a throat of my own song. Unmasking comes in price. All that pure is compromise. In exclusion, I cement myself, alas. Now I'm just a ghost at the attic. Life for me is doing time. The world has shut me down. But it's more than just fine. Not everything has purpose. Nothing happens for a reason. That's absurd within itself. It's like, this is like an artist suffering, but at the same time, it's also our release. It's also what feeds us. So you kind of go around in circles. There's like lots of themes here as well. Existential struggle, identity, alienation, all kinds of interesting, complex, and somewhat dark issues. And as always, I just love it. You talked about the visuals. The visuals, I barely remember because, as I said, for me it was a bit difficult because I was really hit hard by the lyrics. The lines just hit me and I ended up thinking about them. I missed what was in front of me. I will definitely have to go back and rewatch it again to get an idea of what they were trying to convey with each and every one of them, because I'm sure they all have purpose and meaning. And like I said, the one that hit me was the one with the shackled ankle and a feather tethered to it. It's like, yeah, it's still as heavy as any ball and chain.
Yeah, that's what brought the notion that the art form picks you. You don't have a choice. It's a prison of your own making.
There's a lot here that artists will definitely relate to, and it's just beautiful, I think.
Yeah, I think the toughest thing for an artist to deal with is the fact that they have to be vulnerable. If they want to truly express what they need to get out, they can't hide behind shields and masks, otherwise it won't be genuine. And that battle between appeasing the audience and staying true to oneself is constant because of that. Because if you're too vulnerable and you get judged, then there's always risk. You're always risking your reputation, your career, the ability to create art and to have people experience it. You're always risking it. I think that's the tragic element that I got from the song. Because you're always risking it, it's like being an artist, doing what you need to do is putting what you're doing at risk at all times. It's always a crapshoot. It's like a gamble every time. And sometimes you're risking it without even knowing. You don't even know that what you just expressed might hit the wrong nerve. It's a constant battle.
And this is a beautiful way of putting all that into a song. Brilliant lyrics, beautiful sounding song. Tatiana sounds amazing as always. The band sounds fantastic. Loved it. Thank you, Dan, for sending this one our way. An amazing song from Jinjer. Love the band. Loving your requests. Keep them coming. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks, Dan, for this request. We enjoyed reacting to this song very much. Very interesting subject matter to talk about. More like this will be much appreciated. Thank you. If you enjoyed this episode, guys, please be sure to like, subscribe, comment, and click the little bell icon so you get notified on all our future videos. If you have a song in mind you'd like us to react to, please make the request through Buy Me a Coffee. The link is at the top of the description below. Thank you all for sticking with us. Thank you all for your time.
As always, our Jinjer reactions playlist should be up on the screen sometime about now. Give it a click, check it out, and see what you think. Yeah, we'd love to hear your thoughts. Thank you so much for all the support coming our way. We appreciate you. We'll be back in a couple of days with a new episode, and we hope to see you all then. Thank you, guys. See you soon. Bye.
Bye, guys.